Welcome to GridML. Today I'm going to take you on a short tour of the GridML XML Schema Viewer. GridML is a browser-based tool that's optimized for viewing and searching of XML schemas. Business analysts and software developers, sometimes their main function that they need is that, viewing and searching of XML schemas, and GridML is optimized for those functions. There are other tools out there that allow for editing and creation of XML schemas, but sometimes they're difficult to use for simple functions like viewing and searching, and sometimes their licensing costs make it expensive to use those types of tools for business analysts or software developers. So as I said, GridML is optimized for those functions, so let's give a quick look at them. The first function we're going to do is we're going to sign in to GridML, and this loads the tool into your browser. There's no software to download. When you start the browser and click the setup, it brings you in. The first thing we want to do is set up the schemas. On the left-hand side, there is a list. It shows at the top, it shows a list of my repositories. Those are storage areas that I have set up, or like folders to store individual schemas. Below that is an area where in case people have shared repositories with me, those could be people within my organization or within a standards body that I work with. This function allows them to share repositories with me. I also have the ability to share repositories with other people that I select within my group. At the bottom area is a list of public repositories, and those are ones that are predefined by GridML, so that instead of downloading the schemas from those sites, you can simply select them from here and begin using them immediately. So in our case, what we want to do is I'm going to select a video that a schema file that I have loaded here. For complex schemas that are in a folder on your system already that consist of multiple files, you can just drag and drop that folder here. In my case, I have a schema that's just a single file, so I'm going to select Browse, and that's going to bring up a screen. I'm going to select Acme XML as the schema that I want to load into the repository, and next I click the Next button, and this says the schema has no dependencies, so it's ready to go. So I'm going to select Add to Repository, and that will bring it up here in my default repository. The next thing it asks me to do is select the root elements I want to use for viewing and searching. Usually select just a single element, in this case Acme XML. And this is just a short demonstration file. It's for an imaginary company that does mortgage loans. I'm also going to select the borrower as a root element just to show you some of the capabilities. And now it's set up and ready to go. So all I can do is I can go up here and click the view, and the view function allows you to kind of browse through the schema structure like you would browse through a directory structure. On the first column shows the root element that you've selected, and notice this tab shows the borrower, so the borrower will be the root element selected for that one. But when I go back to Acme XML, it shows the contents of Acme XML. It has several child elements: about version, data source, loan file, and so on. I can click on any of those. If I click on loan file, it shows the contents of that, like shows the assets, the borrowers on the loan file, other parties on the loan file, expenses, liabilities, and then one or more loans within that loan file, services, and information about the subject property since it's a mortgage loan. If I click on subject property, it shows the address, certifications, heating system, valuation, and so on. If I click on liability, it shows these are the elements directly under liability. And notice as I select any of these, like expense, over on the right hand side it shows information from the schema file about that element. It shows its definition, and its minimum number of occurrences, maximum number of occurrences, in other words, the cardinality of that item. If I select loan file, this one has other container elements within it, down payment information. If I select down payment, it shows me the data elements that identify or information about a down payment. In other words, the amount, the fund source. And if I click on any of these, notice it in the far right, it shows me information from the schema, the name of that element, its definition, the minimum and maximum number of occurrences, the namespace that it's in, and other technical information about that element. If I click something like fund source type, it not only shows the basic definition information, but it gives me, this is what's called an enumerated element, and it shows all the valid enumerated values and their definitions for these. So that's a quick view of the, a quick look at the view function. Let's go into search. And search is a great feature of GridML. And as you begin typing in characters, I'm going to click credit score model, and notice as I continue typing, it narrows down the number of items that's found. If I went back to just credit score, it shows that there's currently 6 matches that it's found for a data element with the name credit score in it. And this item here, it says 3 of these are data points, 1 is an attribute, 1 is an enumeration, and 1 is a type. If I want to simplify that a little bit, I can uncheck these boxes, and now it'll only show these are the 3 data points that have the name credit score in it. So these checkboxes allow me, because in large schemas you can get hundreds of search results, so you can narrow it down for the type of data that you're looking for, whether it's data points or data containers or attributes and so on. If I select a credit score model name type, once I select that item, on the far right it gives me the definition, and these are all the enumerated values that are available for it. But if I know the name, notice over here it says that within this schema it's in 3 locations. So if I click on loan file, it shows that under here it occurs once within the borrower element and 2 times within the services element. If I click on borrower, it shows me exactly, there's the highlighted name that I was searching for, credit score model name type. And under borrower, it's in the credit score element within that. If I look under services, it exists here under the credit response element 1 time. I can click on that and it shows its location there, or under the Acme loan score response, it shows where it occurs there. So this is a handy feature for searching for specific elements. It shows you all the locations within that. If we go up here under borrower, note credit score appears here in those same 3 data points. And if I click, say, let's go for credit score value this time, and it shows that that occurs only 1 time under borrower, under credit score, and it's in the credit score element, and the credit score value is the actual data element. So that's a quick view. If I notice once I'm in here, if I decide I want to go back to the view option, I can, in credit score, I can click this go to view button, and this takes me back to credit score, where I can now browse back through other elements. I can go back into borrower detail, look at the items that are under there, residence information about the borrower residence, the address, the landlord information, and other information. So anyway, that's a quick overview. There's other videos on the GridML website that go into more detail about viewing and searching, and give a lot more detailed information about some of the features that you can use in those. But this was a quick overview. I hope you're able to get something out of it. Thank you.